Today's topic for editorial discussion is with respect to amplify the subject of adolescent girl nutrition. Amplify the subject of adolescent girl nutrition. So yes, India is a growing nation. We are a growing economy, and there are a lot of perspectives and a lot of expert opinions with respect to what are the approaches or what are the schemes and measures that we have to take in order to reach the full potential of our economy. And yes, all these seem to occur, and all those approaches and all those expert opinions, they have their own strengths and weaknesses. But one major concept that everyone has been missing is with respect to increasing the labor force participation of women. So yes, what can be done to increase the labor force participation of women is that focusing on their health. So focusing on their health, there are two windows, there are two stages of life where we can target women's health. So these are known as two windows for the opportunity of growth, two windows for the opportunity of growth. And the first window is with respect to their birth, when in their childhood. That is the first window where interventions can be made in order to amplify, in order to improve the health status of a girl child. And other thing, fast forwarding to their 15 to 19 years, their adolescent age, the age where they mature. The adolescent age, there is a thing called the adolescent age, right? So that is the second window which can be used to further amplify the health of women also. So here we are going to discuss adolescent age. So we all know what is adolescent age is. So we'll see why women are lacking health. What are the major reasons that act as barrier for adolescent health of women, and why we should invest, and what are the way forward, and how we can further amplify the nutrition status of women. So we have already seen, for a growing economy, there are a lot of approaches, and one approach that cannot be forgotten is that, or cannot be foregone, is that improving the health or improving the labor force participation of women. So what it does, it improves the demographic dividend of our nation. Oh yes, it increases or improves the demographic dividend of our nation. So yes, we'll see what are the reasons that act as barriers when it comes to adolescent, not only adolescent, but health of women or a girl child in general. So yes, what are the reasons? The first thing to be noted here is cultural norms. So cultural norms, as we all know, there are some unwritten laws in our society or within our culture. So that is what are known as cultural norms. So cultural norms, one of the major concept that has been dredging our Indian society is that of patriarchy. Patriarchy or male dominant society or male centered society is what patriarchy is. So yes, when it comes to patriarchy, the focus is on men. Everything is centered around men. That is what patriarchy is, right? So yes, everything is focused on men and everything is centered on men, and women get not much of focus. The limelight doesn't shine on them. So that is what the problem here. There are a lot of cultural norms that say that men should be placed first. Whatever happens, men has to eat first. Whatever happens, even though there are only 2 rotis or 2 dosas, only men has to eat. And after that man or that boy quenches his hunger, then only the girls get to eat. So that is the problem prevalent in our society when it comes to cultural norms, especially led by patriarchy and the male centered society. And not male dominant, yes, male dominant also in certain places, but a male centered society even in other places also. So yes, that is one thing that has to be noted. Cultural norms play a major role in deciding the health of a girl child or women in general. So yes, economic conditions. So economic conditions generalistic reason only. So the economic conditions, it has both ways. It can also play the nutritional status of a boy also, and at the same time with girls also. So economic condition in the sense poverty or poor standard of living and all these things, it comes together within this point of economic conditions. So economic conditions, when economic conditions are poor, okay, there are a possibility that both a boy child and girl child will not get sufficient nutrient. But when poor economic conditions is coupled with cultural norms, what happens? What happens is that whatever they have, whatever it may be, let it be a piece of bun or half a bun, the boy child gets to have it, the male child gets to have it. Why? Because what is perceived is that the society perceives men to be more dominant, men to be more powerful, men to be more contributing to the society and to the household with respect to or in comparison or in relation with women. So everything, even though if it is only half a piece of bun, the man gets to have it or the boy gets to have it. So poor economic conditions, when coupled with cultural norms, it plays a wider role. It plays a wider role in bringing down the health parameters or health status of women. So yes, that is one big problem here. And lack of gender neutral environment. Yes, we've already seen cultural norms and all. Gender neutral environment, since we're talking particularly about the household. In the household, there are a lot of households, there are a lot of case studies where women eat the leftovers of men. I have read this particular incident which happened in Rajasthan, where there were only 4 or 5 rotis for a woman for a household, and all the children, especially the male children, and the husband gets to have it, and whatever is left, the female child will have it, and whatever is left, the women, that is the wife or the women of the family, will have it. So yes, this is how it has been all prevalent. So there is no gender neutral environment within the household. Everything is based on patriarchy, and everything is based on hierarchy, between gender hierarchy, or it is not equal, or it is not gender neutral. So that is what I am like pointing out here. So lack of a gender neutral environment when it comes to the household. Child labor, another major thing which contributes to lower health is that of child labor. And a lot of times people, we have seen, I personally have seen that there are a lot of instances where the male child gets to go to the school or to the college or to any other vocation and all, but the female child, at least like in one scenario, the female child is tied to the house. She has to do all the works, all the domestic work within the house. She has to do all these things within the house, and in other cases she has to go out for work. Sometimes in very poor work environments. So poor work environment, in sense we have seen certain instances where women work in hazardous places like that of matchstick factory, or that of some other hazardous factories like chemical factories, or all whatnot. They are all low paying jobs, and mostly in the informal sector. So there is no safety there also with respect to all dimensions, not only health, but in all dimensions there is no safety there or security there. So that is one big issue. Child labor is one big issue, and adolescent labor, not only child labor, but yes, adolescent labor also to a greater extent plays a major role when it comes to healthy development of women or girl children. So yes, child labor and monotonous balanced diet. This is a more generalistic thing that has been marring our nutritional approach. Monotonous diet, in the sense we are either rice based or wheat based. The south of India is mostly rice. The southern India is mostly rice based, and northern India is mostly wheat based. So this is what we call it as a monotonous diet. That is rice based or wheat based. You take chapati, roti, everything and all, naan, paratha and all, it is wheat based and atta based. Come down south, we have this idli, dosa and all these pongal, puris and all these things and all. They are either wheat based or rice based. So that is what the problem here. We cannot get a balanced diet when it comes to a monotonous grain or monotonous cereal. So that is a very big problem here. We don't have a diversification of food habits or diversification of food sources. We only stick on to our staples. Yes, rice is our staple, rice is our major food, or wheat is our staple, or wheat is our major food. But the thing is, we must also explore other options. There are other options like millets. We have a lot of millets now. We have this ragi, we have kamb, we have finger millet and all these ragi and all these millets we have. We have to explore other options also. So monotonous and an unbalanced diet is also a major reason which has brought down the health status not only of girls or not only of women, but the entire Indian society. So that is what on a more generalistic note, monotonous and unbalanced diet. So these are the reasons. So now we'll move on to why should we invest? Why should we invest in adolescent nutrition? So yes, the first point to be noted here is labor force participation and demographic dividend. So labor force participation, adolescent health is a very good indicator of labor force participation of women. So once an adolescent, a teenager, a youth, a teenager 15 to 19, right? A teenager is healthy and wise. They have larger avenues for labor force participation. They are healthy to participate. They are healthy to take part in economic activities. So that is there, and we have already seen that healthy women, they contribute to our demographic dividend on a much larger scale, and we can also harness this demographic dividend to reach higher endeavors of growth as in India as a whole. So yes, labor force participation rate and demographic dividend are two things that we must keep in mind while investing in adolescent health. They can contribute when a healthy woman or a healthy child or healthy girl child can contribute in a lot more ways to the economy and economic activity, and help amplify our economic growth also. So yes, and next is cognitive development. So when it comes to cognitive development, you know what is cognition, right? You all know what is cognition. So a poor, unbalanced or a monotonous diet, what it does is that it impairs cognitive development. When cognitive development is impaired, there are also other similar issues. It can also lead to neurological issues, and it can lead to issues during pregnancy times. So the overall health of the girl or the women is hampered only because we don't invest much in the adolescent nutrition sector or adolescent nutrition sphere. So yes, so cognitive development, to improve the cognition of girl child or any child for that matter, adolescent nutrition is the need of the hour. Yes, moving on to health, we have already seen about what health adds. So yes, cognitive development, there is this pregnancy based issues and all other chronic disease. They can develop such chronic diseases when they are poor, they don't have enough resistance, and all these things can accumulate or accrue. Another thing what could happen is that when an unhealthy girl child is there, when an unhealthy girl child or any child for that matter, it adds to the financial woes of the family. It increases the financial burden of that family, not like constant clinical visits or constant test scans and medications and all these things. It increases the financial woes of the economy and can lead the lead the family to poverty. So these are all real things that can happen. It has a possibility to happen. It is happening also in certain areas. So yes, why should we invest in adolescent health? Yes, the economy and on the whole can reap dividends from labor force participation and demographic dividend. One thing that is there, and on a more egoistic level, in the sense, on a more particularistic level, the thing is cognitive development can happen. Cognitive development of the girl child can happen. So it may not lead to other issues also. We can prevent neurological issues. We can prevent pregnancy issues. So all these things can be arrested and thrown away. So yes, that can happen. And health, overall health amplification of the society in general. And yes, health in the sense, not only health of the first generation but also the later generations also. It can also help us to reduce intergenerational poverty, and all these things can happen when we contribute to we invest in adolescent nutrition, especially for the girl child. So yes, so what are the way forwards? What approaches can we follow in order to, with respect to adolescent girl nutrition? The first thing to be noted here is life cycle approach. So life cycle approach is nothing but something that has to be monitored in every life stages. Every life stages in the sense, we have this childhood, we have adolescence, we have youth, we have old age, and all these life cycles, life stages there, right? So yes, in all these life stages there are particular issues that has to be monitored, that has to be taken note of, and has to be implemented, or it has to be eradicated. Some issues. So every life cycle has to be implemented with constant checkups and all these things. So the life cycle approach is one thing that can be used, that can be implemented, and it has been used in various other countries also, and they are a pretty good success. So we can also mix other countries to follow a life cycle approach. So yes, convergence and collaboration. Yes, we start talking about adolescent health. There are a lot of schemes, especially under Postal 2.0. There is a scheme called Scheme for Adolescent Girls. Postal, this Postal Abhiyan, right? Under Postal Abhiyan 2.0, there is a scheme called Scheme for Adolescent Girls. And also there is this Rashtriya Kishore scheme, Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakaram, there is a scheme called like that. And all these schemes are there. But what these schemes do is that they are standalone schemes. They work in their own space. They work to achieve the same goal, but they work as separate entities or separate parts. So what we can do is to improve such things, to improve the implementation of these schemes. We can follow a convergence of schemes and collaboration between departments that implement these schemes, so that it will be easy for us to plan, it will be easy for us to implement, and all these things. It will be easy for us to monitor also. So yes, convergence and collaboration of schemes and departments is the need of the day when it comes to investing more, or when the government is set out to improve the health status or health standards of adolescent girls or adolescent children for that matter. So convergence and collaboration of schemes and departments is one good thing that we have to follow. Yes. Spreading awareness and education. So by spreading awareness and education, we can further contribute or further improve the health status of adolescent girls. So spreading awareness and education is not regular awareness and regular education, but with respect to nutrition based education, nutrition based awareness. So there are these data points that suggest that NFHS 4 says that 41.9% of school going children are undernourished, so are underweight, and NFHS National Family Health Survey 5 tells us that 59.1% of adolescent girls are anemic. Anemic in sense they are very low in iron content, they are iron deficient, and all these things they face. So yes, they are anemic also. So in order to improve all these, we have to follow these way forwards. So life cycle approach is that convergence and collaboration, spread awareness and education. Spread awareness and education in sense nutrition based education. So what are the other avenues that we have? What is anemia? What is iron deficiency? What are iron rich foods? How to alleviate anemia? So all these things we can spread awareness regarding all these things and give them certain education also. We can call them out on a Sunday morning or a Sunday afternoon or evening, anytime it matters. We can spread awareness regarding nutrition not only to girls but also to the entire community on the whole. So yes, that can happen, that we can follow. And another thing is the multi-sectoral approach. So multi-sectoral approach is that nutrition is not, it is not a ideal type. Ideal type in the sense it cannot be studied as a standalone thing or a standalone concept. The thing is, it is mixed with every other thing. Let it be education, let it be health, and all such things that follows. So yes, we have to follow multi-sectoral approach. We have to improve the economic powers of the women. We have to improve the educational status or education level of the women. We must improve the health status of women. So all these things. So following a multi-sectoral approach is one thing that we have to follow in order to increase the adolescent girl nutrition or adolescent girl health. Another thing that we can follow is that we can routinely train health staffs. That can happen, an effective implementation and monitoring of schemes. All these things we can do in order to improve the nutrition status of adolescent girls. So this is what the article entails. Thank you.